Hi, I'm Joshua Waller, the Executive Director of Hayuvel and the Israel Guys. If you're a Christian who believes in standing with the nation of Israel, I've got something very important that I want to share with you. 2025 has been a year of massive world-shifting events. Here in Israel and across the Middle East, Iran built a coalition with one clear goal: to wipe Israel off the map. And yet, by the grace of God, Israel took decisive action and brought the regime to its knees. Thank God, all the living hostages have returned home, and Israel is steadily continuing to work on uprooting Hamas's strongholds in Gaza. Here at the Israel Guys, we have done our best over the course of this year to bring you the insider, boots-on-the-ground information on all of these events, along with many other just as important things happening in Israel you don't hear anywhere else. But that's just the surface of what we do. God has allowed us, just ordinary Christians from the United States, to take part in one of the greatest redemptive stories unfolding in our world today. Over the next few minutes, I want to take you behind the scenes of what's been happening here and show you how you can be a part of what God is doing here in the land of Israel today. God said in Amos 9, "I will restore the fortunes of my people Israel. They shall rebuild the ruined cities and inhabit them. I will plant them on their land, and they shall never again be uprooted." Right now, not only are we seeing these scriptures being fulfilled before our eyes, but we are actually participating in them. Against all odds, Jewish families are returning home to the Negev, to Jerusalem, to Tel Aviv, and to the biblical heartland of Judea and Samaria. But like every move of God throughout history, this restoration comes with resistance. Every step is contested. Every stone cleared from the ancient fields, every fence post, every vine, every tree, every sheep or cow, it all requires real people willing to work, sweat, and stand with these families. In 2025, not only have we reached over 20 million people with the message of Israel, we've also been privileged to bring nearly 200 volunteers to the mountains of Israel's heartland to connect them with the events of the Bible unfolding before their eyes. Over the course of this year, thank God, we were able to put in nearly 14 kilometers of fencing to hold 3,000 acres of land for Jewish farms. We planted over 21,000 trees and vines and harvested over 120 tons of grapes. But our impact goes way beyond numbers. You see, we're on the front lines. When a new farm is struggling to hold land, we're able to respond quickly with trucks, heavy equipment, welders, and just good old-fashioned hard work. In a second, I want to show you some of the firsthand testimonies, some of the beautiful stories of the farmers who are on the front lines of this redemption battle. We're privileged to get to put our hands in the soil, to get to sweat on behalf of the restoration of this land. But it takes more than sweat. The operations cost money. The videos we produce, the heavy machinery, equipment operating costs, it all costs something. And we are confident this is God's work. One way or another, He will provide what's needed for the restoration of this land to continue. What we'd like to offer you is the opportunity to join in this blessing. We have generous donors who are matching donations up until December 31st. So that means whatever you give will be doubled for twice the impact. We'll get into more of that in just a minute, along with the plans for this coming year. But first, some testimonies from the farmers we're working with.
התחלתי את הפרויקט הזה עם המשפחה שלי ב-2018. שנה ראשונה שתלנו 5 דונם. היה מאוד קשה העבודה, אבל הצלחנו ברוך השם לשתול את כל 5 דונם. לאחר מכן בחורף הראשון יש את הזמירה שצריך לחתוך צריך לסדר את הענבים, את הגפנים. חיפשתי מי יכול לעזור לי באזור. איכשהו הגעתי לישראל גייז, באו אחרי חודשיים בפברואר להתחיל את הזמירה, הגיעו לפה ליום אחד. אחר כך ביקשתי מהם עוד כמה דברים, כל פעם שביקשתי, זה תמיד היה, אנחנו נבוא, אנחנו רוצים לעזור, תמיד עם חיוך, בשמחה, מביאים עוד אנשים מכל העולם מגיעים לפה, מאוסטרליה, מאמריקה, משוויץ, מצרפת, מאנגליה. אין לי עוד איך להודות להם, כי הם עושים את זה באמת מהלב, והם רוצים לעזור ולהגדיל, וכל פעם שאני חושב לעשות דונם, בסוף עושה איתם 10 דונם. לפני הישראל גייז, 5 דונם, היום יש מעל 50 דונם.
There wasn't even trees planted here. You know, it was like the Jewish people come back from exile after 2,000 years. And we came back, and I read in Jeremiah 31, "Thou shalt plant vineyards in the mountains of Samaria." So we came up, we broke the rock, planted the grapes, and the planting was, let's say, the easy part, but then the hard part came. And that's taking care of the vines, and then all of a sudden pruning in the middle of the winter. And it wasn't looking so good. 3 years later, when we were supposed to have fruit, I would just, the trees, most of them were still alive, but not doing too well. And that's when the Israel guys came in. The Israel guys was like, I think you need some help pruning. And they came like that, a whole group of them. In a couple hours, the whole thing was pruned. And then all of a sudden, we have grapes. And I couldn't harvest all the grapes by myself. So I gave a call to the Israel guys, and I was like, hey, Israel guys, it's your fault. I have grapes on the trees. I need help harvesting. And they're like, okay, we could do that. And then I remember early in the morning, first sun, the Israel guys and girls, they came and they're singing songs, singing psalms, singing different verses, singing Job. And ever since, they've been harvesting every year. And then I said, listen guys, this is easy. I have vines, it gets pruned in the winter, harvest in the summer. We have to plant more. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, we do planting too. I'm like, didn't think of that. And now we have another 30 dunam, about 10 acres of just vines, beautifully planted, pruned every year. And we have another harvest coming up now this year. And the truth is, sometimes I would say, I don't know what I would do without the Israel guys, but then I would say, I actually know exactly what. I definitely would not have all the vineyards, and I would not have all the wine. I would not have this whole center where hundreds of people come here every weekend, and they learn, they enjoy, they connect.
Like I said, we are confident that this restoration movement is God's work. He will provide what's needed. But at the same time, we have been incredibly blessed to physically be doing our part, everything we possibly can to see this happen. And we would be remiss not to offer you the same opportunity. If you believe in the covenant that God made with Israel, if you believe that God has a plan for the Jewish people to prosper in their land, if you believe that the mountains of Judea and Samaria should be restored and claimed for Israel, then join us. Like I said before, we have generous donors who are willing to match any gift given through the end of the year. So anything you give will be doubled for twice the impact. Looking ahead to 2026, we are more excited and ambitious than ever. With God's help, we are planning to bring 250 volunteers to participate in the building up of the land. We are opening up new trips with new opportunities to harvest grapes, plant trees, grapevines, and put tens of kilometers of fencing for cattle on the small farms here in Judea and Samaria. We're starting a new initiative called Zion Ops to offer scholarships to young people for a month at a time to do hardcore volunteer work here in Judea and Samaria, putting in fences, pounding in T-posts, and planting new vineyards and planting trees. We're planning to build a new studio, the first of its kind in Judea and Samaria, right here on Har Bracha. This studio will be used for more streamlined broadcasting of important information about Israel, shared with the nations, and will also be a space where gifted Israeli personalities will be able to extend their reach, spreading the knowledge of God to the world. After 20 years of serving in Israel's heartland, our mission remains simple. We exist to bless and serve the Jewish farms and communities in Judea and Samaria, with no strings attached, by bringing thousands of Christians to volunteer in Israel's heartland, and by telling the incredible story of the land and people who call this place home to the millions around the world. As we move into 2026, again, please consider joining us. Every dollar you give will be doubled. When you put directly into the building up of the land of Israel, it means more trees, more vines, more cattle, more sheep, more flourishing Jewish communities being built up in the land of Israel. From the team here at the Israel Guys, we thank you for your prayers, encouragement, viewership, and financial support.
First thing is come here to the land and take part. Be here, boots on the ground. If you can't, for whatever reason, in the meantime, until next year, support the Israel Guys. Because by supporting the Israel Guys, you are making things happen. You are bringing boots on the ground. Holy boots, strong boots, good boots. And by supporting the Israel Guys, you're able to make more of this happen.